What up, Bulls Nation? Peck here from CHGO Bulls. We got a live pregame show for y'all on deck. Bulls in San Antone taking on the Victor Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs. Updates on the Bulls injury front as well, including Coby White, Lonzo Ball, Josh Giddey, what's going on. Also, we're going to take a look at what Vuce has been doing on the court. He is cooking for the Bulls so far. That's next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls pregame, presented by Coors Light. Coming to you from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. Bow. AWL Sports. Will the Go Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed. Will_Gottlieb. And back on the controls, queen of the controls, where she belongs, back from Italy. It's the one and only Katie Duffy. What's up, Katie?
Ciao.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good trip?
Magical.
Y'all see the glorious knockoff MJ bobblehead adorning our set that just arrived back from Italy? It's a good one.
I like how I'm wearing Jordan so you can see both at the same time. That's pretty good.
I kind of like that, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very creepy. That's why I got it.
Michelangelo Jordan.
This looks kind of racist.
Oh, no.
Like a little black faces. Like,
Black facious.
I'm just looking at the nose. That's what's giving it away right there. It was like, who
Strong
can we paint
ears.
this guy?
Also, is he wearing lipstick? Like,
who can we paint this to be? You know what? Yeah. Mike, I like the basketball, though. It's very nice. Well done. And Mike is that famous where you just put 23 on anything.
Yep.
You just know.
And it's just what it is.
And, red jersey with white trim.
Yeah, it works. It works. The detail of the shoes I like, too, as well. They put in an effort on this. I like this. I like this, man. I like it.
Well, so was the highlight of the trip finding a Michael Jordan bobblehead, or was it something different? What was the highlight, Kate?
That was a close second. Michael Jordan was a close second. Highlight was definitely the Coliseum. Took my breath away. Like, that was amazing. I had a moment. I thought it was going to be the Trevi Fountain for all of the obvious Lizzie McGuire reasons that we discussed earlier.
Of course.
I almost forgot about Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. Did you not watch the movie? What did I tell you? I was gone for a week, you guys.
I got to be honest with you. Yeah, we watched Jerry Maguire.
You had time. I'm disappointed.
It was the McGuires we got mixed up.
I can't say Lizzie McGuire was top of mind for me while you were gone, but it wasn't bottom of mind.
All right, we're going to have a movie night, and that's what we're going to watch.
Hand up.
We're going to have a movie night. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, I need a nap.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm glad it was a good trip. Glad you made it back safely.
Glad you're here.
Yes. I mean, you missed so much fascinating Bulls stuff while you were gone.
I would love a recap. Because that was the first thing I said when I came in to Dave or one of the first things was, what did I miss? And he was like, nothing.
Bulls
so you're telling me you didn't listen to all of our shows while you were gone?
Bulls played some bad teams and beat some of them and lost to the Celtics and got bounced out of the NBA Cup. There's your recap.
She's just telling on herself right now.
Perfect. Look, I watched some of the YouTube clips that you guys put out. But listen, it was like 2 a.m. when you guys were live for pregame most nights.
Yes. I did notice that you hopped into the live comments on our one earlier 5:30 show.
I was on the plane. Yeah. I was on the plane, so that was a normal, okay thing for me to do.
Fair enough.
Plane to watch us.
Before we dive into tonight's matchups and all that, just another quick thank you to everybody who took advantage of our 36 for 36 promo that we ran over Cyber Monday and also into Tuesday. 717 new CHGO diehards have joined the Cool Kids Club. Because of that promo we ran. Welcome to all of you. Thank you to all of you. And, of course, thank you to our pre-existing diehards. Do your thing. Welcome in your fellow diehards when you see them hanging out in that Discord channel of your favorite team. Greatly appreciate everybody for coming on board. And speaking of the diehards and all the great benefits you get, reminder, Derrick Rose retirement. CHGO Bulls Top Shelf Takeover coming up January 4th. Bulls Knicks at the Madhouse. diehards get a significant discount to that event, which, by the way, is happening in one of them suites at the United Center.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing VIP swag bag, including some D-Rose CHGO merch.
Mm-hmm.
You got, obviously, all you can eat and drink amenities of those delicious Chicago United Center suites.
Mm-hmm.
Come hang out with us. Come hang out with four-time champ Will Perdue.
That's right.
It's where all the people are going to be. It is the game to be at this year if you are a Bulls fan.
How's that Purdue built?
That's right.
The house that Purdue
That's
built.
the BMO Harris Club.
That's it. He's a star up in there. That's real talk. He's a star up in there.
Soon enough, it's going to be the house that Purdue built that Big Dave resides in all the time. Yeah. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the comments. Hit that like button if you haven't already. That's right. I was just saying the same thing to Katie, our guy Clem in the comments, saying at least it's not that NyQuil Jordan knockoff Bulls figurine.
I like NyQuil Jordan.
I mean, it's like it's one of the classics.
It is a classic. It is classic.
It's got that face that looks like it's being like brushed aside in some weird way. Like,
can you do that again?
Like it's that? Like an AI generated image.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Is that your slow motion, like take my breath away kind of thing? Like, bow, 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 bow. Like, I like that. That's smooth.
Now Goat's gonna go watch Top Gun instead of the Lizzie McGuire movie.
I'm just gonna watch all the Tom Cruise movies.
That's right.
The one thing I ask for, man. Like,
hey, thank you, Jeff Crook. I appreciate that. You said watch Survivor Series, watch along, enjoyed it. Thank
Wrestling.
You, appreciate it.
Wrestling. What's up, Niles? What's up, Julie? Crazy day in Chicago sports. Another coach bites the dust. Luke Richardson fired from the Blackhawks midseason. Second Chicago coach in the past week to be fired midseason.
Before anybody says it, Billy Donovan's not getting fired. It's not happening.
I mean, you know.
Sorry.
Our guy Herb Lawrence of White Sox immediately in the Everybody Hangout channel of Slack was like, Billy next? I don't think so.
They're overperforming right now.
I was going to say, like
they're not firing their coach for being too good.
Right now, if I were his boss, I would fire him because he's winning too many games. Speaking of which, the Bulls have a very winnable one on deck. Yes, they are on the road, but they've been performing better in road games than home games.
Yeah.
We know that. The Spurs are a pretty strong team at home themselves, 8-4 on the year at home so far, 11-10 overall. But the Bulls will be without Coby White. Also, as planned, Lonzo Ball not playing the front end of a back-to-back, likely to play in the home game tomorrow. Patrick Williams remains out with that foot inflammation. Josh Giddey did pop onto the injury report as well with an ankle, was ruled questionable coming into today, but has been given the green light. He is active and will play.
All right.
I know you guys got a few updates from Billy Donovan on a couple of these guys yesterday. What can you tell us about Coby, his ankle, how that's progressing, and then also Patrick Williams?
Yeah, so Coby, I think they're just kind of holding him out another one so that he's not playing in the back-to-back. Billy said this a couple of times that he just doesn't think it's that serious. I think he rolled it at some point, maybe on someone's foot, but not something that I would be concerned about in terms of a long-term injury. Patrick Williams is going to be out for these 2 games, I believe. Basically, he's been ramping up. And from what it sounds like, the inflammation that they were worried about is down, but now it's at a point where it's like, okay, you start to test out some explosive drills. You see how he does in that. And if the inflammation comes back, that's when you start to have some concerns. But so far, so good with that. And then Lonzo, obviously, pre-planned back-to-back. He's not going to be playing in this next one. Billy said Patrick was going to be out for the back-to-back. And then the Philly game, which I believe is on Sunday at noon, Chicago time, is, quote, a long shot. So we'll see about that. But it sounds like maybe early next week we could see Patrick Williams back out there.
Okay.
And then as we shift to the Spurs, obviously the big news, as Brazil Popular in the comments said, Wemby ducking that smoke from Modest, SMH. Victor Wembanyama has been ruled out for this one tonight, dealing with back soreness. Definitely a bummer. As you know, on Western Conference team, you only get to see those Western Conference star players twice a year.
Yeah.
And Bulls fans don't get to watch the great Wemby show tonight. On the bright side of things, there will be no Wemby. 3.5 blocks per game Wemby patrolling that paint as the Bulls are trying to find some easy buckets tonight.
Yeah, but I wanted to see.
I want to see Wemby.
I want to see him play. He's the guy. He's the price of admission. He's the star. He's the draw. He's the attraction. This is what you want to look at. yeah, it definitely increases the Bulls' chance of, winning the game and playing better offensively, of course. I'm sure Vooch is extremely happy that he isn't out there on the floor. So that's great. But just from a basketball junkie like myself who just wants to see great basketball and great basketball players, I want to see Victor Wembanyama out there on the floor. I do expect the Spurs to continue to execute as they always do. So I don't think that will change. But, yeah, not seeing a 7'5" alien on the basketball court playing your team, a little sad.
Yeah, lower back soreness. The conspiracy theorist in me does wonder if it's like
just sitting out.
The Bulls are in town and they have the Bulls pick. Like, to me, that's more plausible than Billy getting fired. I'll tell you that.
Man, that thought did not even occur to me.
We'll throw in
but yeah, I mean, maybe they're just trying to make sure the Bulls win and give themselves a chance to get that 11th pick, which could happen. But yeah, I mean, the Bulls are also without a couple of their key players, so both sides are going to be down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame. Like, Wemby is one of the most unique players in NBA history. Zach LaVine yesterday at practice said he's the best defensive player in the league. I think that's true. Like,
I mean, didn't he finish second in DPOY last year?
As a rookie. Like, he's going to win 10 straight defensive player of the years. Like, that's how good he is.
Bonkers.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah. Speaking of the injuries on both sides, and I know somebody was talking about modest, running things with no Wemby out there. Bulls fans have been wondering, especially after that career 20-point night, when, if ever, is Modest going to get his first start while the Bulls are dealing with all these injuries? It is not tonight. Once again, Julian Phillips in that starting lineup for the Bulls, along with Giddey, Ayo, Zach, and Vooch. Just because I know he's not playing tonight, but because this is one of two games, this year where we're going to be talking Spurs, and because I know you've been harping on it, Dave, I wanted to let you maybe give a little soliloquy, and I dug up some numbers to prompt your soliloquy, because as we talk about the 7'5" alien and what he's doing this season.
Oh, I know where we're going. Okay.
I looked at his splits from his rookie year to now as far as what he's doing scoring-wise and shots-wise. And they're impressive. He's upped his scoring from 21.5 to 23.5 per game. He's bumped up his overall field goal percentage a little bit. He's also bumped up his three-point percentage from 32.5 to 33.7. You like all of that. He's taken 1.5 more field goal attempts per game than he did as a rookie. And here, Dave, is the cherry. While he's taking only 1.5 more total field goal attempts, his three-point attempts have increased from 5.5 last year to 9.2 this year. And you are not the only one who is an avid NBA fan watching these Wemby threes every night saying, what the hell are we doing?
There is in no world should that dude be shooting under 50% from the field. In no world. He is 7'5" and unstoppable. Why does he enjoy spending so much time at the three-point line? It's annoying. It is annoying to me. Absolutely annoying to me watching him do that. Great. He can shoot threes. And honestly, if he was shooting at a 37% clip, 38, I wouldn't have nothing to say. I'd be like, well, dude, he's hitting. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Below 34%.
33.
And you're taking 10 a game.
And you're taking more?
Yeah.
And you're only a percentage little better? Take your big ass to the paint and score the ball. You are 7'5". I wouldn't feel this. I didn't even yell about this about Kevin Durant because he's a sharpshooter. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you got to be 7 feet tall. Everybody's got a different facet of their game. But that rule will never change for me. When you are 7'5", you go into the paint and you score. He doesn't even have to have moves yet. You just give him the ball. Yeah. Throw it up. He'll put it in. You got Chris Paul on your team.
It's like the blue cartoon version of Sean Bradley in Space Jam.
Very simple. Right, yes.
Yes. Hit my head on the rim.
Absolutely, man. Just give him the ball. He is too skilled and too good. He should never in his life be shooting under 50%. It is not tapping into a facet of his game that is stopping him from being even greater. And that's what's more maddening about it, dog. It's like Patrick Williams stuff to me. Like, it's maddening not watching him go in the paint and just score. It's very easy points. He doesn't need a back to the basket. He don't need to do none of that stuff. Turn around and put the ball into the basket. No one's there. And even if they are there, they're not there because they're not 7 feet tall. You are 7'5", bro. Go score. You should be averaging 40. I should be Wilt Chamberlain number stuff out here with this dude right now, man. I hope it clicks. I really do. I hope that clicks for him, that how big he is, how tall he is. Maybe he puts on more size and stuff like that. But yeah, let me stop. We got to go to break. Let me cut this out. Yes. Go to the paint.
I enjoyed that as much as I thought I would.
God.
Quick shout out to our friends at Coors and more action on CHGO Bulls pregame.
But I will take a beer. Hey, I need to embrace chill right now.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, calm down, Dave. Jeez.
Yeah. Thank you, man. That's when I know I'm tripping. Between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it's no wonder we're more worked up. Coors Life celebrate rising above and choosing a chill mindset. Why not turn that rained out barbecue into the Will to Go Gottlieb and Will Purdue karaoke house party hosted at my place? Do you know the password? You don't, so you're not getting in. Or after a tough loss, settle scores with the ice cold peace offering. Make the most to choose chill, then reach for a cold Coors Light. It's Mountain Cold Refreshment because when those mountains turn blue, oh yes, you know what to do. It's cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. So when it's time to embrace the chill mindset, go on and crack open that frosty cold Coors Light, that Mountain Cold Refreshment that is crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Make the most out of times to choose chill. Choose Coors Light. Get delivered straight to your door via Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. It's CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden.
Colorado.
Oh, come on, man.
I was waiting for you. It's always better when you
hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Before we pivot to the Bulls' elite big man. Yeah, that's right. I said elite big man.
Yeah.
Anybody out there need one? Pick up the phone. Go. I'm curious your thoughts on the whole Wemby taking 10 threes a game thing.
I mean, I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think that I do want to watch more of him before I go there with it, because I do think that with his size, I mean, obviously he's tall and long enough to be able to score in theory, but there's a lot of physicality that he's just very slender, and you don't want him to get hurt. I also think that there is something to the fact that
he's sitting out tonight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There is something to the fact that as open as you're saying his shots in the paint are, that's how open his threes are, and a 3 is a better shot than 2 at this point in the NBA. So yeah, and I think he will. I do believe in his jump shot. For me, a lot of it, especially with young players, is what kind of volume are you getting up? And 9.2 per game is pretty incredible. He's shooting 61.7% on 2s. So I do think that there is a balance that he can find. I don't know what that is, and he'll have to come to that at some point. But I don't have a problem with shooting a lot of 3s. I'm never going to tell guys to stop taking 3s.
Oh, God.
But I do think that, you have Chris Paul, there's a lot of just screen dive lob that could happen.
Yes.
And I feel when the game slows down and you have to get a shot, that's what they should be going to more than anything else.
You know, the last game he had, he had 34 points, right? He was 11 to 17. Went to the line, I think, 9 times. But he shot 9 3. He was 5 of 9 from the 3-point line. That's fine. You know what I mean? 5 of 9 is I was cool with that because you scored 34. So that means the rest of that, if you go watch the tape, a lot of that was him getting the ball inside. They were giving him the basketball, and he literally was just turning around and laying it in. They can do that all game long if they choose to. And I get it. He's slender. He's not built like that right now. But what you are built like is a 7'5" guy. Mm-hmm. And so you can't teach that. You know that saying. You can't teach size. You can't, man. You can't teach that,
I'm not
bro.
disagreeing with that. And you mentioned the free throws too. That's a big one. His free throws are down by 1.6 per game this year. You're not getting fouled if you're shooting 35-footers.
No, you're not.
So to me, and we talk about it all the time with guys like Pat, Coby, whoever it is, that's how you become an efficient scorer, is by getting to the free throw line at 10. Mm-hmm. He's not going to have too much to worry about there because he's just so unique.
Very.
But I think Ricky O'Donnell said this over the summer, and it's really stuck with me, about Zach Edey, which is that sometimes you want to pigeonhole a guy who is maybe a little bit unique or different into some other player that you've seen historically, because that's what makes sense.
Sure.
But when you have these guys that are just complete outliers, they completely break that. Like, we don't see a 7-foot point guard who's 325 pounds in Nikola Jokic running up and down the floor, making incredible passes. Like, that guy didn't exist until Jokic got there. And he changed, he created his own style and became dominant in his own way. Same with Steph in his way. So I don't ever want to tell a player like Wemby what he should do, because he might just break the game in a different way that we haven't comprehended yet. And maybe that's what's happening. At the same point, like, I'm also not going to say, like, never screen and roll and get to the rim, because, like, that's obviously a really great way to score too. So
go to the paint.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Point guard. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just want to see what he can do before I tell him what to do.
Does
that make sense?
No, I hear your point. I've seen enough to be like, dude, go to the paint. Because, again, it's the percentage that he's shooting from the field that bothers me more than anything. Because I see the easy, high percentage shots that he can have inside. And I'm not trying to change like him and say, be a 90 center, go down there and dominate the paint. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I don't think he'd be good at that. Like,
no, he wouldn't.
His center of gravity's too high. He's not going to be able to get
He don't
position.
have them kind of moves. His whole game isn't predicated around. He plays like a guard. Like, so, yeah, he won't be like that. But, dude, mid-range to the paint, he can dominate that all day long. Who's coming out to block that jump shot? Like, I can't, for me, turning down layups is a problem for me. Because for me, I just look at him and I see layups. And I see easy two. And like you said, not getting to the line because of that. And that makes you a better basketball player and a more complete basketball player when you're able to get to the free throw line. And then that just makes your game even more impactful, and you really can't do anything with this player. Joker does everything, but you know what he damn sure does? Go to the paint.
Yeah,
he definitely goes to the paint and gets layups and buckets all day long, man. That is a part of the game when you're that big guy. That will never change.
Joker can do that because he has the strength and he gets fouled a lot and he goes to the line and he converts at the line a lot.
Yes, he does.
I think maybe there's a part of Wemby who's like, yeah, I've got all this height, but
and they're gonna
do I really want to get my ass whooped?
They're going to try to beat him down.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a doubt, they're going to try to beat him down. Welcome to the NBA.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like,
the game, bro.
You either bend the defense by putting pressure on the rim or on the 3-point line, right? So when you think about, peak Russell Westbrook, right? Everything was put your head down and get to the rim. And that changes how teams have to guard you. When you think about peak Steph Curry, and then that opens up things, right? Because now the defense has to clap the paint. You're still driving, you're spraying it out, you're getting open threes, swing, all that stuff. When you look at the Warriors and Steph Curry, it was everything's pulled away from the rim. The defense get stretched out and pulled away from the rim. And now those driving lanes are open that way. And so that's where you get the backdoor cutting, the split actions, Steph just beating guys off the dribble with like a eyebrow fake and getting to the rim. And there's no resistance down there because their centers are outside too.
Right.
And so
gotta guard
I think you have to put the pressure on the defense in one way or another. I think he can do either or both.
Either, yes.
And
that's what makes you great.
Yeah. So I think there's nothing wrong with shooting a lot of threes, but I agree with you that he also needs to be doing getting to the rim more.
And again, I don't have a problem with his game per se, like shooting the threes, playing how he plays. It got him there. And he's really, really excellent. You know what I mean? I don't know if you all have sat and watched this dude. He's an alien and it's perfect. And 7'5" with those kind of handles, can shoot a 30-footer is insanity. And I trust him to shoot that shot. But it's just the things that you're passing up that you're going to have to learn to add to your game if you want to be the best. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about him being, even a little bit better. I'm talking about being the best. That dude can, for real, average 40 and 15. He can do this. If he wants to, he can definitely do it, man. And this is, in my opinion, one way that he can definitely do it.
Thank you for coming to Big Dave's Wemby TED Talk. You know who is 7 inches shorter than Wembanyama, but shooting better percentages than him in the inside and behind the arc? Because it's Bull starting center Nikola Vucevic. French Bull TV in the comments saying Big Dave sound like Stacey King asking for Vuce to just stay in the paint all night. Ha ha ha.
No, I'm offended by that.
Tonight with no Wemby. Tonight with no Wemby out there. Yeah. Feed Vooch the ball. Feed Vooch the ball, y'all. Because as we were looking at Wemby's rookie year splits to now, let's for a second take a look at Vooch's last season splits to now when we're talking about where he's taking his shots from on the floor and his efficiency on those shots. By the way, averaging 21 and 10 on the year. So last season, about 53% of Vooch's shots came from 0 to 10 feet. And he shot that at nearly 60%. It's respectable. It's not great. This season, that's up a little bit, nearly 54%. And he has upped his efficiency on those to 67.5%.
Oh, wow.
Simultaneously, he's cut down on his mid-range attempts that he hit at only a 44% clip last season. He's cut basically a third of his mid-range attempts out from last season, but is hitting them at a 10% jump of 54%. And, of course, then you see an increase in three-point attempts, 25.8% of his overall field goal attempts last season behind the arc. That's 32.6 thus far this season, upping his efficiency from 29.4, yuck, to 47.6. Vooch is hitting not just more threes, not just converting more bunnies at the rim. Even I broke it down from 0 to 10 and then mid-range and then threes. You can even break it down 0 to 3, 3 to 10, 10 to 16, 16 to 3, and then every single spot on the floor, Vooch is hitting from more. He's still not great from corner threes, like he's never been, but he barely takes any corner threes.
He's taking 8.
Yeah, like 8%, I think it was total three-point attempts have come from the corners. Everywhere on the floor, he is just like boosting his efficiency from last year. It's wild.
Yeah, he's incredible. And as I was saying earlier in the interview today, he's not only having, his best season as a Chicago Bull, he's having one of the best seasons of his career. Like, he has been outstanding, and shooting over 50% from the three-point line tells you everything. Like, right there, like, being that kind of dependability from a center is extraordinary what he's doing out there. Like, I don't have enough positive words and adjectives and whatever you want to throw out there for this young man, dog. Like, Vooch has been outstanding from the beginning, from the onset, and there hasn't been a decline for Vooch either. And it's been against so many opponents. Like, there's been centers that come like, oh, no, he might have a struggle against them. No, I'm going to get you 25 and 12. Oh, no, I'm going to throw in 6 assists with that. He's doing it from the outside, as Matt just showed you. He's doing it from the inside, as Matt just showed you. And he's also doing it as far as his versatility with passing the ball and getting other players involved on this team. And defensively, like, when your offense is going like that, you forget the defense at certain point in time. You're like, oh, okay, well, we know he wasn't great defensively, but guys, look what he's doing on the other end. That's why it was so glaring, obviously, because, things were being funneled to him also last year. But that's why it was always very glaring when in his previous seasons, because of the numbers that he was putting up for the Chicago Bulls. They weren't like this. Now that they're like this, people haven't even mentioned this man and his defense. You don't even hear it brought up because he is balling and doing his thing on the other end of the floor, man. So he's having a phenomenal season. I'm glad he took this challenge personally. I'm glad he feels more comfortable here, and he looks great. And I hope the rest of the NBA sees this as well.
I mentioned, the idea of like putting pressure on either the rim or the 3-point line, and like pulling the defense one direction or another can open up the rest of the floor. The Bulls, I think, are doing a really good job of, as a team, putting a ton of pressure on the rim, getting up the court after makes, after misses, putting pressure on the rim, drive and kick, and then Vooch trailing those. And the way he's shooting is pulling the defense back out. Yeah. And so it's really putting a lot of pressure on the defense to guard the rim and the 3-point line. And when they are closing back out to him, he's trailing the play. I was already gotten to the rim, and now he's kicking it back out to Vooch, who's shooting like 79% on threes this year. Like, they've got to close out hard, and he's beating guys off the dribble. Yeah. He's like making 70% of his floaters, of his hook shots. He just cannot miss basically anywhere on the floor. The confidence that he's playing with is so much more apparent than it was last year, where it felt like he was passing up shots or hesitating and not taking them. He really could not be playing any better. I think this is certainly the best that we've seen him, but probably the best he's ever played in his career. And I don't think it's just the shot making. Certainly that helps, and that puts more pressure on the defense for how they have to guard you. But he's just reading the game so well. He's moving the ball. He's making shots. He's taking the right shots. I think he's going to do really well tonight without Wembanyama out there.
Gorilla pointing out in the comments that the Spurs are starting Jeremy Sochan at the 5 tonight. Brazil Popular saying Sochan can't handle Vucci Main. Yeah, your Spurs starting lineup: CP3, Stephon Castle, Julian Champagny, Harrison Barnes.
He's good.
And Sochan. So Champagny has some size. I think he's like 6'8", but do you think Sochan's going to draw the initial matchup on Vooch? Like, as opposed to talking about how do you score over Wemby, who's just like a shop-like machine. But the Bulls could have a serious points in the paint advantage tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. And one thing Vooch always does well is he knows when he's bigger than you, and he will dominate you. Like, he really plays up to that. Because Vooch is 6'10". People forget he's not 7 feet. Vooch is 6'10". But when he knows that you're a little lesser, got a little weight, oh no, he's gonna put it in you, bro. Like, he's gonna score some points. So it's gonna be fun watching that.
And that is going to bring us past the 7 o'clock hour here in Chicago. That means tip-off right around the corner. Just real quick, if you're the Spurs with no Wemby, like, how do you try? Like, it's not like the Bulls' defense is any tough task on any given night, but what, like, if you're the Spurs, how do you try to attack this with no Wemby, Goat?
I think you run. I think you try to beat them down the court and try to play Vooch off the court defensively. And then, just play small and try to beat him with speed. But the problem is the Bulls are doing that too. So I think you're going to see a ton of possessions tonight. I think that they are going to try to draw Vooch away from the rim and really open up the paint. And then, Chris Paul is going to be Chris Paul and take advantage of matchups and manipulate the defense and set guys up. And I think you're going to see a lot of offense tonight.
A lot of offense. Chris Paul always seems to have those games against the Bulls. Thorn in their side.
Yeah, you got it.
And Spurs do love chucking threes. Not quite as much as the Bulls, but 6th in the NBA in three-point attempt rate. Nearly 47% of their total shots come from behind the arc, but they're only making them at the 19th best clip in the NBA. So we'll see if we get a three-point chucking contest.
Can I just say I'm proud of you? You said something nice about Chris Paul, man.
I said he's been a thorn in the side of the Bulls a lot of times. Yeah.
Proud of you.
He can still go to hell.
There it is.
Screw CP3. Guy's a douchebag.
There it is.
Dirty player. Roll the tape. I'm kidding. We don't have Chris Paul dirty player tape queued up, but
YouTube.
You have a search bar on YouTube. Pre-game's over. Go find it while we watch the Bulls Spurs game. We'll be right back here for live CHGO Bulls post-game following Bulls Spurs. In the meantime, make sure you follow _Gottlieb, Big Dave Bow, BNWS Boards on Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Shout out to Katie, back in the producer chair where she belongs. See y'all for post game. See you right, be good.
Peace.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.